some of my mentors say. Okay, just for information, the meeting is being recorded now. I'll draw a line from something one of my mentors said. He tried to draw an analogy of a lion in a zoo. And usually you know that a lion in a zoo, if you've ever been to any zoo, you know that they usually put them in cages. The lion, the giant within that lion is asleep because that lion has been put within a cage. The lion is not able to unleash all of those, those attributes we know the lion for because the lion is in captivity. Now, people may come around and clap for the lion, throw some things to the lion, and they're really happy with that cage that lion is within, and they probably will use it for their own entertainment. However, that lion has not awoken. The giant within is still asleep. Now, the lion can only get to its full potential. In other words, it can only awaken the giant within when it comes out of that cage. And usually your instincts will tell you this, that there's something inside of you that needs to be unleashed. So I put it to you today and ask you a question. What cage are you in today? Are you in a level 1 cage, for example, if you are a Toastmaster and you've decided not to allow that giant within you to wake up, and you've just been in level 1 and you've been in a Toastmaster for more than a year? I challenge you today to awaken that giant. What cage are you in at your place of work? Do you have people around you, just clapping hands and telling you that you're doing a fantastic job, but just to keep you, in the place where you are? I challenge you today to awaken that giant. So this is what awaken the giant within means to me: unleashing the potentials you have within you. And I believe that within this meeting, a lot of things that will happen would inspire you to look deeper within you and begin awakening the giants within you, from your mind to your body, and unleashing it to the rest of the world. Toastmaster of the day, over to you as you take us through this very interesting meeting. And hopefully at the end of today, we'll see a lot of giants in the room. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Uche, our president, and also a role player for today. Thank you for those words of wisdom and encouragement. Thank you everyone for joining. For those who are just joining now, thank you, we welcome you. And I'd please like to say, if you are not speaking, kindly mute. I hear a lot of background noise and we need to do without the noise today. So please, if you're not speaking, kindly mute. Check your devices. You may think you're muted and you're not. Kindly mute so that we can have a seamless. Master Uche, please make me a co-host so that I can exercise some rights as well. Just Master Uche.
I've done that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So without wasting much time, let's go on to the next phase of today's meeting. We hope we keep to time. We expect to keep to time and we won't be wasting too much time as we go along. I'm going to introduce the role players for today, and they're going to unmute and introduce themselves and explain their roles and tell us what it is they're going to be doing for us today. Now, the Sergeant at Arms would have introduced me, but since he's not here, I will introduce myself. My name is Toastmaster Tari Adebisi. I said before, I'm your Toastmaster of the day, and I'll be the driver of this vehicle as we move towards our destination. And we will have an exciting meeting, I believe. We have a couple of guests in the house and a couple of members in the house, and I believe each and every one of us will put in the effort to make sure that this meeting is an exciting one, okay? Like I said before, mute if you aren't speaking, and also if you're called upon to say something, kindly unmute and speak. There are no experts in this room. Everyone is learning. It doesn't matter whether you've done it before or not. Unmute and say what you can say, and we will applaud you and we'll get along pretty well. So without wasting too much time, I'm going to call the ACT counter for today to unmute and introduce herself. The ACT counter for today is Toastmaster Kaine. Toastmaster Kaine, please, if you're here, unmute and tell us what your role is as the ACT counter. Who said what? Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmaster of the day. My name is Kaine Dietespiff. And with you today, I'm going to be the accountant. So I'm going to be noting the use of filler words and phrases used in crutch sentences. I'm also going to be taking the who said what session also. So sit back and thank you for the opportunity to also be a role player today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kaine. Indeed, looking forward to your segments. Let's know who won the accounting challenge. So please, you can always use a virtual emoticon to applaud. You can unmute and applaud and then mute back. The chat box is free for everyone to make comments, to greet each other. And please click on the attendance link and fill in the attendance as we come in. From time to time, Toastmaster Joy will be posting the attendance link. So please do that. Next person will be the grammarian, and that would be Toastmaster Afoke. Toastmaster Afoke, kindly unmute and please tell us your role. Toastmaster Afoke, are you on the call? He was here a moment ago, so probably network glitches. So, okay, no, that's not Afoke. So Toastmaster Afoke will be the grammarian for the day. Maybe we'll introduce him later. Let's go on to the next person. The next role player will be the timer for today, and that will be Toastmaster Peace. Toastmaster Peace, kindly unmute and tell us what we should expect from timekeeping. Toastmaster Peace, are you in here?
Apologies, my mic was not unmuted.
Okay.
I will not be able to turn on my camera now, but I'll turn it on during the evaluation stage. So my name is Peace, and I am the timer for today. I will be displaying timer cards, which are green, yellow, and red. For manual speeches, we have 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and we have 5 minutes and 7 minutes. So when it's 5 minutes, I'll display the green card. When it's 6 minutes, I display the yellow card. And when it's 7 minutes, I display the red card. For table topics, when it's 2 minutes, I display the green card. When it's 1 minute, when it's 2 minutes, I display the red card. 1 minute, I display the amber card. And at 30 seconds, I display the green card. So I will be displaying the evaluation at the end of the speech. That will be all from me for today. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Peace. I hope you're in a safe place. You sounded a little bit breathless. So for those who are joining for the first time, what we do here essentially is give speeches. We have what we call the manual speeches, which are speeches that you've already prepared beforehand. And then we have what we call the table topic speeches, which means any one of these beautiful 23 plus faces I see here can be called upon to pick a number, pick a topic, and speak for 2 minutes about that topic. Right? You qualify if you can speak for more than 1 minute, you qualify. But you are disqualified if you speak less than 1 minute or you go above 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So essentially that's what we do here. Give speeches, we train and retrain ourselves until we become perfect. We do not want to hear pause pillars like those kinds of things. We try as much as possible to limit them to the barest minimum. So essentially it's thinking on your feet and then just going along. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Peace. The next role player would be Table Topics Master, and that would be our president himself, Toastmaster Uche. If you're here, Toastmaster Uche, kindly introduce your role as Table Topics Master.
Thank you. So one of the hats I'll be wearing today is the Table Topics Master, and as I said in Toastmasters parlance, a Toastmasters wears many hats. The aim or the purpose of the Table Topics session would just be to practice thinking and speaking on your feet. Within the period, I would be picking people at random. I'll start with people who are not playing a role and ask them to speak about a specific topic that they are not prepared to speak about for at least 2 minutes. For 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes, and the timer would help us with showing the time or timing each of those speeches. At the end, we expect that you would have given us, good value for our time within that period, and would have enjoyed your speech, and you get an evaluation after that. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master. The next role player I'll be calling upon will be our general evaluator. In fact, this is like the number one person in this meeting. So I'm calling her almost last, but she's not really the last. So our general evaluator for today is the president of BSN Toastmasters Club. I'll give a more elaborate introduction when she's about to speak. But for now, her name is Toastmaster Morenike Adeyeye, and she's the president of Business School Netherlands Toastmasters Club, all the way from Lagos. Toastmaster More, kindly unmute and tell us what your role as general evaluator will be today. Over to you, More.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. As introduced, I'm More Adeyeye. It's my joy and pleasure to join you for today's meeting as the general evaluator. As part of my role, I'm here with a team of role players, and my duty at today's meeting is to evaluate the meeting, the proceedings from the beginning to the end, to give commendation for things that are well done, and to give recommendation for things that you probably want to suggest move on. So I'll be sitting back, relax, listen, and view the proceeding for today's meeting. And at the end of the meeting, I'll be giving my reports alongside other evaluations. Thank you very much. And back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Thanks for joining us and thanks for obliging us. The next people would be the speech evaluators. I'd leave their own beat until they're called up to actually evaluate the speeches. We have two speeches today, one from Toastmaster Joy and the second one from Toastmaster Tari. And when it's time for those speeches, the speech evaluators will be introduced at that time. So moving on, let us go now to the next segment of this meeting. Pardon me, I think I should share the agenda again.
Looks like you missed one role player.
Oh my goodness, I am terribly sorry. How could I? Madam Table Topics Evaluator, I'm so sorry. I don't have the agenda in front of me. Please, the next role player will be the Table Topics Evaluator. Very important session. Forgive me. And no other person than our immediate past president of Pecten, Toastmaster Folusho Alamina. Over to you, Toastmaster Folu. You're muted. Toastmaster Folu, you're muted.
All right, please confirm you can hear me now.
Perfectly.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will be your Table Topics Evaluator, and what that means is that I will be deploying my superpowers, listening attentively and providing constructive feedback. The aim is to make better communicators of our Table Topic speakers. So I've got my pen and my notebook here. All of you know I have a Toastmasters notebook. So I will be taking notes, and at the appointed time, I will give my evaluation. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics. Toastmaster Tari. Back to you.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. There's so many T's, Table Topics, Toastmasters.
And
so
your
thank
name.
you. And Tari too. So yeah, the tongue twister, Toastmaster Tari. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Folu. We left one person out initially because I think his network had issues. So our grammarian for today is Toastmaster Afoke. Toastmaster Afoke, if you're back in, kindly introduce to us what your role is, the word of the day, and then let's and give us some examples to go along with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. My name is Afoke. I will be playing the role of grammarian in today's meeting. And as grammarian, my role is to introduce the word of the day and also make notes of incorrect grammar used by any speaker during the course of this meeting. So I would be paying close attention to all the speakers and meeting. The word I'd like the Zoom put that up if it's possible. However, avidity is spelled A-V-I. Okay, that's right. It's up on the screen.
Yeah.
It's A-V-I-D-I-T-Y. So that's the word avidity. What it means is keen interest or
Hello? Just myself, okay? Can anyone hear him or is it just me?
We can't hear him.
Okay. It looks like he's back though. Just myself, okay? Can you hear us?
I think he's struggling with his network.
Network. Okay, so let me just take this bit. So the word of the day is avidity. And like it's shown on the screen, it just means
oh, wow, the runner's ability to run faster.
Go ahead, that's okay. Okay, so avidity, meaning keen interest or enthusiasm. And the examples are on the screen. The runner's avidity for the gold medal caused him to run faster, or his avidity for life could not obliterate his fatigue. And the synonyms are eagerness, fervor, passion, keenness, and whichever other word falls within that line. So this is the word of the day. I would encourage each and every one of us to use the word of the day. And for the grammarian, if he can hear us, to actually take note of those who have used the word of the day and how much use the word of the day comes into play. And at the end of the meeting, when he's giving his report, we will know if this word avidity was used with enthusiasm or not. We'll go quickly to the next segment of today's meeting, an interesting segment, I must say, and this involves every single person on this call today, and that would be the table topics. So over to you, our table topics master, Toastmaster Uche. Take it away, table topic session. Over to you, Toastmaster Uche.
Toastmaster Terry, you're still sharing your screen.
Yeah, no worries. I would take over from her at this point. Okay, I would just like to start by saying that if you're not speaking, kindly mute your microphone. I will try to mute a few people. Okay, silence. Great. Now, this is the table topic session, and it's really a simple and interesting one. What we'll be doing would just be for people to volunteer. I will be showing a couple of pictures, and all you need to do is use the picture to make a speech for 2 minutes, okay? At least 1 minute, and at most 2 minutes, 30 seconds. My video is on, okay. So the first thing we'll do would be to get volunteers. I'd like to get the first 2 volunteers on the call to want to take the table topic sessions. Take a table topic. We have a couple of people, the usual suspects. Essay is our usual suspect. This is our way of coming into the new year. That's our first volunteer. I need another volunteer, and then I'll share my screen. A second volunteer, just raise your hand. Raise your hand. You can use the raise your hand, or you can go to the chat box and just tell us that you would want to be the next person. Okay, I've gotten just 1 volunteer. I would begin. The next is Ngozi. All right, so really a lot of people. So I'll just take it by, so we have Essay is number 1. We have Joy, we have Ngozi, and I saw Gladys. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people. And I will be starting with Essay. Okay. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Great. All right. So I'll show you a picture, and all you need to do is take a look at it for 5 seconds or less. And I'll need you to make a speech using the picture that will last for 2 minutes. You could describe the picture and then try to inspire us. This is your picture. Toastmaster Essay, take it away.
Have you ever wondered how it seemed like most people have their lives figured out? Just if you pick your phone and you scroll through, and it seems like everyone is doing so well. Everyone seems to be living the baby girl life, the best life. People are getting awards, people are making money, every new craze, every new look. It seems like these people have such an intense avidity for life, and you're left wondering, God, when? Why does it seem like I do not seem to be moving as well as I can? It's a new year. It's a new month. It's the season of love. Don't you think now is the best time for you to tap into the lion within you? Lions are animals that are often called the king of the jungle. And I am assuming that most of us live in Nigeria or are Nigerians. And that already means that you're in a jungle. Don't you think you want to be a lion in a jungle? What is the best way to do that? Research has proven that most of the best leaders in the world are people who know how to inspire people. How do you inspire people? You have to connect with them. You have to be able to communicate with them. And how do you do that? Work on your communication skills. And where is the best place to do that? Come and join Pecten Toastmasters. You want to tap into the lion within you. You want to dominate your jungle. You want to be among those who seem to have an insane avidity for life. Come and join Toastmasters. You would build on your communication skills. You would dominate in the jungle. You would be one of those Nigerians that we Nigerians happily call one of us. Hello, everyone. I really do hope that if you are a Toastmaster and you're not actively seeking or working on your communication skills, now that you've decided that 2022 is your year of being the lion in the jungle, you would work actively to pursue your communication goals. Come and be a lion. Join Toastmasters today. And oh, how we would hear you roar. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much. I would urge everyone to unmute and give her a round of applause. Indeed, 2022 is the year of you unleashing the lion in you and being the lion in the jungle. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Essie. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Joy. And in a second, you would see her picture. Toastmaster Joy, you just need to do the same thing that Toastmaster Essie has done. I will be showing you, I'll be displaying a picture, and all you need to do is probably describe it and inspire us for 2 minutes. Toastmaster Joy, over to you.
Okay. Right from when I was a young girl, I've always had an avidity for good-looking males. Don't judge me. Who doesn't like a fine man? Abs, some nice beards, nice haircuts, you know. This picture on the screen shows a good-looking hunk. We all know him. If you're one of the Marvel fans, you will know that he's called Superman, Man of Steel. There was a series one time way back called Smallville, Clark Kent. I'm sure most of you remember. I would watch that series until my TV was tired of me, just because I wanted to watch Clark Kent save the world. As a young girl then, I felt like he was the hero, because at all times he was stepping in to save people, to save the day, to make everything that was wrong right. There was one thing I picked from that though. I realized that there is a feeling of satisfaction always when you save the day. In the world around you, how many times have you helped someone? How many times have you saved the day? Do you have an avidity for being the solution that people seek? You don't have to wear a cape like Superman to do this. It's that food you offer someone that is hungry. It's the money that you offer someone that is broke. It's that word of encouragement that you offer someone that looks forlorn. It doesn't have to be you flying in the sky. You can be Superman in your local community. You can be Superman in your local circle. Just be dedicated to making sure that you are the solution around you. Don't always be the problem. Don't always complain. I'm sure most of us have problems and issues that we go through every day. Still, be strong. I was speaking to one of my mentors in the office a few days ago that had lost someone. Guess what? She was still comforting and encouraging people that had also lost people. How ironic, right? But yes, in her sphere, she was Superman. And it inspired me to learn to always be a helping hand. I'm sure today you will be the Superman wherever you are. You don't have to wear a cape. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to have those six-pack abs. Well, if you do, added advantage. But still, work hard as little as you can to be the Superman wherever you are. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. A round of applause for Superwoman Joy. Round of applause. And indeed, you don't need to wear a cape to be Superwoman. You only need to just make your hair and just pack it one side.
Right.
To be Superwoman, right? Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Ngozi. Toastmaster Ngozi Ilil. Well, really, she'll tell us her name herself. Toastmaster Ngozi, the same thing other speakers have done. I would be displaying a picture, and all you need to do is probably describe it and inspire us in 2 minutes. Toastmaster Ngozi, if you can see my screen, please take it away. Please let me know when you can see my screen, Toastmaster Ngozi. Am I audible? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, you but I don't know.
You can't see my screen yet, can you? Hello?
Well, we can see your screen.
Okay.
And probably Toastmaster Ngozi has maybe network challenges.
Okay.
I'm sorry, can you be the next person about?
All right, so we'll go over to the next person. Next person is Toastmaster Gladys. Toastmaster Gladys, please confirm that you can hear me and see the screen.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, everyone. I can hear you, sir.
You can see the screen. Okay, thank you. Toastmaster Gladys, all you need to do is look at the screen for at least 5 seconds or less. And if you want, if you like, you can describe this picture, but make sure to inspire us at the end. Toastmaster Gladys, over to you.
Good evening, all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm on transit right now, and I hope the environment will not be so noisy to distract me and you all. I see a picture of a man walking towards the destination, and there's an inscription there, impossible, but he's trampling upon the I am, the prefix, and his focus is on the possibility of the journey. Now, from what I can get from this picture, in life, no matter the destination we have at heart, there will surely be obstacles, challenges. There will surely be reasons to back out or back down. There might be some days you feel like crying, some days you are just not free. But from what I can see here, it's an encouragement for us to look beyond the pain, look beyond the struggles, look beyond the distractions, and just remain focused. No matter the trouble, like you say, impossible, but if you take your focus away from the distractions and just place it on your goal, with such great ability, you will definitely get to your destination. And no matter how painful the process was, when you see the results, looking back, you will always have a reason to thank God for maintaining and sustaining your ability all through the journey. So thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day. I would like to encourage us, whatever our goals are for the year 2020, please don't back out, don't back down. Try and keep moving. Let your focus be on point, and you'll surely get there. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you so much, Toastmaster Gladys. Doing the impossible, really, making the impossible possible by speaking while in transit, and we could hear you clearly. you said you should look beyond the pain, look beyond the struggle. Indeed, everything is possible. We'll take just one more person, and I'd want to look through this. If you have, Toastmaster Ngozi, are you ready to do your own part?
Yes, I'm ready, but I might not be able to share my video because of my network.
Okay, fantastic. No problem, no worries. We'll take the same thing again. I will share my screen and take it back to the picture which was supposed to be for you. And all you need to do is just inspire us with the picture, right? So 2000 goes, this is your picture. Inspire us, take it away.
Wow, the sunrise. The sunrise points to a new morning, to a new beginning, a new life, a new day, a new year indeed. And now we are facing a sunrise of the year. It is just the second month of the year. As the man in the picture embraces the sun, opening it himself up to the rays of the sun, we are indeed called to open ourselves up to great possibilities that lies ahead. And what can we learn from the sun? What can we learn from this picture? As the sun comes with its energy to inspire us, to give life to the plants, to all creatures on earth, to supply energy needed for things to work. Our hope, our dreams, our aspirations as Toastmasters, as aspiring Toastmasters, our aspirations in life, our places of work, in our families, our educational pursuits, is meant to spur us, to move us, to make us accelerate with a great speed, just as the sun gives energy and life to all that comes under its influence. We are meant to gain energy from the hope, from the desires, from the dream that we have. And we're meant to run, to start new life, new hopes, achieve new targets, conquer new zones, conquer new places and new dreams. It's time for us to stand up. As Toastmasters, it's time for us to conquer new grounds as Toastmasters. What is that dream? What is that plan you have? What is that pathway? What is that process you are pursuing? This is the morning of your day. This is the sunrise of the year. You have the whole day, the whole year to pursue it and achieve it. Then the question is, are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to utilize the energy that comes from the sun, from the hope, from the dreams that you have? This is a time for you to rise up. Even if you feel down, this is a time for you to look into you and to get the energy that comes from the result that you will achieve, from the joy and happiness that is going to offer you. We are all called to reignite that hope in us. We are all called to embrace the sun, to embrace our dreams, and to move on. Back to you, the table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ngozi. I urge everyone to please unmute and give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. I would ask the Toastmaster of the day if we have. Thank you for that. I ask the Toastmaster of the day if we have time for one more table topic. If we don't,
yes, one more. Just one more.
One more.
Yes.
Fantastic. Just one more. Just one more. Who is that wild card? Who is that lucky person to take this last table topic? I'd like you to raise your hand. Just raise your hand and you'll be the one to take the last table topic. Raise your hand. And if nobody raises his hand, I will go through the list and just pick someone. All right, so I see an interesting name here, Tonye Bongili. Tonye Bongili, can you hear me? Tonye Bongili, can you hear me? If you're speaking, you're muted.
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. So Tonye Bongili, it's an easy session. All you need to do is look at the picture that I'll put on display. Take a look at it for 5 seconds or more. You have few seconds to think, and then use that picture to inspire us. You could decide to describe it, but just find a way to inspire your fellow Toastmasters here on the call. Is that something we could do?
Now, today is my first time. Today is my first day. I just saw it on Facebook and I decided to see what this is about. I've not done it before, but seeing from what they are doing, I could try.
All right, thank you so much, Toastmaster Tony. There is a giant within you and you're about to awaken and unleash that giant. If you can see my screen, the picture, the last picture here on display is for you. So take a good look at it for, say, 5 seconds. Immerse yourself in it and inspire us. Toastmaster Tony, over to you.
Trying to look at the picture, what it's about. Here, I'm seeing the people in a conference where someone is teaching an audience. I don't really know what to make out of this anyway. Okay, sometimes we feel inadequate. You don't know, you are not confident in yourself or your ability, to be able to what you can do. But if you're able to overcome, just like this lady here, standing before a crowded, people, and looks like she's wowing them and everybody's attentive. I think that if you're able to overcome your fears, you can be able to achieve whatever you want to. That's it.
All right, so that's it. Awesome. And truly that's it for the table topics segment of today's meeting. Thank you everyone for participating, everyone that participated. And I dare say today has been a time of inspiration. I'm sure you'd have picked a thing or two. We have listened to 5 giants and they have tried as much as they can to inspire us. Toastmaster of the day, over to you.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Uche. That was a very interesting segment. And thank you to everyone who volunteered to give a speech. Even the one that said, I'm coming here for the first time, managed to wow us. At the end of the day, you see, there is a giant in you. There is a giant in you. You don't know what you can do until you're put on the spot and asked to do that thing. That's the honest truth. So thank you very much, everyone who played the role here. Toastmaster and Table Topics Evaluator, if you could remind us the different people who spoke, and so that we can know in what order they spoke. I think the last person was Toastmaster Tony. Who was the first person that spoke? Was that Toastmaster Essay?
So the first person was Toastmaster Essay, followed by Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Gladys, Toastmaster Ngozi, and then Tony. 5 of them. Yeah.
Okay, 5 of them. So Essay, Joy, Gladys, Ngozi, and Tony. So that's right. Indulge me, everyone. At the end of the day, we would see wow. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Apologies. Yeah, internet connectivity issues. We're going to put this to vote, but you won't be voting in the public domain. Kindly private chat Toastmaster Folu, our Table Topics Evaluator. Send her a private message via the Zoom chat, and let her know which person you think wowed you the most, who you think should be the winner of this segment. Whether you come first, you come second, you come third, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a way of evaluating us. And then at the end of the meeting, we shall know who exactly people voted for as the person that won the table topic session. So once again, thank you very much. It's 5 p.m. now, and we'll go straight to our manual speeches. Our manual speeches are speeches prepared beforehand, before the meeting. And when you join a Toastmasters club, ideally, when you become a member, a paid member of Toastmasters club, you're supposed to choose a pathway in whichever way you want to. If you want to grow in leadership, you choose a pathway that exemplifies leadership. You want to grow in communication skills, there are pathways for that. But essentially, you choose a pathway and you begin to grow from level to level in that pathway. Now, the speakers today have their pathways and are already on the journey to becoming beautiful and avid public speakers. So I'm going to be introducing the manual speech evaluator for each of them, and the manual speech evaluators will introduce the people to give the speech, and then we'll go from there. So the first speech today will be from Toastmaster Joy, and to evaluate her is Toastmaster Uche. Toastmaster Uche is the current president of this club, Pecten Toastmasters Club. He is an occupational health specialist, and he has a whole lot of talents. If you know him personally, you know he can do a lot of things. For me, my personal idea, the personal idea I have about him is that he can actually sell snow to an Eskimo. He has a very convincing tongue whenever you listen to Uche. So I introduce to you Toastmaster Uche. Toastmaster Uche, take it away as you introduce the first manual speech of this evening. Over to you.
Wow, you almost introduced me as though I was the manual, I was going to give a manual speech, but thank you for that.
Yeah, it's all good.
So let me begin practicing my salesmanship. All right, our first speaker for today is Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James. She's a biomedical scientist with a passion for psychology, which has driven her to take numerous courses in that field. Currently, she works for an IOC as a data analyst in the occupational health department. She is the vice president, public relations of Pecten Toastmasters Club, and reigning Division K humorous speech contest champion. Can you beat that? Her hobbies include traveling, reading, and having a great time with friends. Today, she would be speaking on one of her speeches in level 3, and it's titled "Connect with Storytelling." The purpose of this speech, or this project, is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech with story. At the end of this project, the member would have told us a story, or she would have told us a story that may be personal, a well-known fiction, or one that is of her own creation. Today, all we need to do is sit back, relax, cross your legs, because you're about to listen to Tales by Moonlight. Please join me as I welcome Toastmaster Ekuchi James Joy as she takes the virtual lectern to give us her speech. Toastmaster Joy, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uche. Actually, my project is storytelling, but my title of this speech is Morir para vivir, which means die to live in Spanish. So I'll just go straight into the speech. August 12th, 2009, the worst day of my life. My name is Ekuchi Joy James, and today I'll be taking you on a short but intense journey to my past. It was on a bright Sunday morning after the church service had ended. My friends and I were outside the church building discussing how wonderful the Bible study session that I had led went. They were sharing how much they had learned, more or less. Pastor Ekuchi, I see a future in ministry for you. Well, we're sitting around, having a good time. After a few minutes, my parents beckoned to me that it was time to go home. As a young adult, you know how it is now, riding with your parents home when you're with your friends. You don't want to fall hand. So I said to them, a friend of ours has invited us for Sunday rice, so I'll come by myself. And they said, okay, do you? And they left. From the church building to the junction was a stretch to walk. So we all walked together, still chit-chatting, laughing, until we got to the junction of the church. Just then I had received the call. Whilst I was taking that call, my friends had crossed over to the other side of the road where we would take a vehicle that would take us to our friend's house. So I missed that opportunity to cross over with them. A few seconds after, I had ended the call and it was time to cross the road. On Sundays, you know how it can be now, quiet, empty, no traffic. The road was clear. So I walked into the road about to cross. All of a sudden, I hear a screaming voice, Ekuchi! In that panic, I ran into the road instead of out of the road. My friend had screamed my name because there was an oncoming bullion van escorted by a police van. They were coming at high speed from a bend, but it was too late. The next thing I saw was black. A screeching sound, then black. The rest of the story is what I was told. I was told that I had gone up in the air, landed on the floor, it was a concrete floor, rolled with my face and the rest of my skin into the nearby drain. After this happened, obviously I was unconscious. Thankfully, a good passerby from church had come immediately to help me to the hospital. These police guys, on a normal day, they will probably do a hit and run. I don't know what made them stop to carry me. And we went to a first aid clinic. First place said, oh no, we can't handle this, she's too critical. We don't want her dying here. And then finally, they took me to a hospital, most of us probably know in Port Harcourt, Teme Clinic, for first aid, emergencies, and gunshot wounds. There they were able to manage the situation for a bit before my parents were alerted. And then I was told that I was flown to South Africa for a surgery the next day. In that surgery, because I had lost the first layer of my face, of the skin on my face, I had to do a grafting surgery where skin was taken from some part of my thigh to use on my face to cover up the damage that was done. A nail had punctured the outer part of my eye as I fell into the drainage, so the doctor feared I might lose my sight. Thankfully, I did not. It took a lot to revive me and bring me back to consciousness and stop the bleeding. It was critical. Everyone was afraid. Everyone was scared. I stayed at the hospital for about 2 weeks and then returned to Nigeria. That is when the hardness started. Every day was hell. I couldn't take a bath. My mom had to squeeze some towels just to press on me to make sure that water doesn't touch my open sores. I had sores all over my body. Of course, I couldn't walk. My femur had some issues, had been dislocated, so I was in a wheelchair for about 3 months. This whole time, thankfully, loved ones and family came over to help, to give me words of encouragement, stay with me, visit me, but still, nothing was working. I was a child that grew up with a lot of self-confidence and pride and high self-esteem. But after this accident, I had lost all of that. It was so hard for me to look in the mirror because I thought my beauty had diminished forever. I lost a year of school. It was my last year in school. By the time I went back, I was teased and called all sorts of things. Scarface, monster, Wolverine. What did I not hear? Scar's girlfriend. Scar from Lion King. I'm sure all of you know it. It was bad. I cried every day. I went into depression. So you could say that I died to live again. After this experience happened, I thought it was going to be over. I was going to be a young adult that would grow to be sad and helpless and just, not having a way to live. No one would love me because I'd be hideous. No, I probably would get married because no man would want to look at me. And as a young girl, we think about these things. But here I am, more than 10 years later. Happy, healed, both inside and out. A young lady whose self-confidence and self-esteem has been restored. Many might say, oh, I grew to be a beautiful woman again. Scars are almost invisible. Well, I mean, if you look closely, you see a few here and there. But I'm happy to say today that my ability for life has been restored. Although I thought it was never going to be. I died inside, but now I live again. I'm sure this story might be sad to some. This is a true life story that I want to say or I have said to encourage you that it's never over. It doesn't matter the situation you are going through. This is the call to action. Get up and continue moving. There is no situation that is too hard or too dire for you to give up or let go. You can smile again. You can be beautiful again. Morir para vir. Die to live again. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster today.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Simon, we see your yellow card. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James, for that awesome speech. I'll leave the evaluation to your evaluator. I'm sure everyone enjoyed that speech as much as I did. Thank you very much. And thank you again. And so we're going to the next manual speech. And the person to give the next manual speech is actually the person speaking with you, Toastmaster Tari. But to evaluate her would be Toastmaster Ochuko Otukonefo. Toastmaster Ochuko is currently the Vice President membership of Oil City Speakers Club in Port Harcourt. And she was a member of the PR team during lockdown and leader of the hybrid team immediately after the lockdown. She's multi-talented, she's passionate about people, she loves to dance, she loves to make and host friends, and she also loves to travel. She believes in maximizing the moment, as she did when I first buzzed her to be the evaluator for today. So over to you, Toastmaster Chuko. You can go ahead and introduce the next speaker, as well as the project she's supposed to be doing. Over to you, Toastmaster Chuko.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day or Madam Toastmaster of the Day. I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker, who is none other than TM Tari Adebisi. She is a consultant family physician and the Vice President Education of Pecten Toastmasters Club. She is a prolific speaker and a passionate leader per excellence. Today, she will give us a speech, which she's repeating, and the title of the speech is Recipe for Growth. This is her final level 4 project on the pathway presentation mastery. The aim of this project is for her to show us how well she can manage a difficult audience with skill and professionalism. This is a repeated speech. She's going to give this speech, and 1 or 2 people are going to interrupt her. An extra person is welcome to interrupt her, even though there are some people that have already been told that they can interrupt her. And we want to see how she can manage impromptu interruptions while giving a speech, and with skill and professionalism. I will therefore introduce TM Tari. TM Tari, Recipe for Growth. Recipe for Growth, TM Tari. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ochuko. From the moment a child is born until that child grows to become an adult, there are certain things that happen in the life of that child. There are certain inputs, whether from the home environment, whether from culture, whether from the school, religious organizations like the church or the mosque, that actually influence how that person turns out to be an adult. In essence, like a seed planted in the ground that needs water and sunlight to grow, to become the giant tree that people will enjoy in the future. If those things are not available, the seed will hardly become a tree. So what is the recipe for growth? Everything we need to become giant trees are already planted in us as a seed from the very beginning. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and thank you for joining us today. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that most, if not all of us, have heard about over and over and over again. And what I'm going to be talking about today is essentially mentorship. Mentorship. Who is a mentor? Who is a mentor? Now, if your video is on, or even if it's not, take a minute and look at the faces you have on the screen. There is an old African proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child. Therefore, each individual you see here was actually groomed by a village. And it doesn't have to be a village in the sense of geography. It could be the people you came across, a parent or a sibling, a lecturer or a teacher, a friend, or just people you mingle with whose names you don't even know. All these people can actually influence who you become as an adult. It was an American columnist, John Crosby, that says mentorship It's a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. If you think back at your life, who are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people you would say actually made an impression to you that has enabled you be the person you are today? Could those people be called mentors?
Toastmaster Terry, please, who are mentors?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Joy, for your question. Toastmaster Joy, I'll take your question, but I would advise the entire room that you kindly wait till the end of the session before asking questions, and so that we can have enough time to actually ask questions and give the answers. But to answer Toastmaster Joy's question, a mentor is someone who prods you along the journey, someone who leads you by the arm, someone who supports you, someone who coaxes you, someone who wants you to do well in that particular field or area. That's essentially who a mentor is. You jumped the gun there, I was coming to that, but thank you for pushing me into that direction. So essentially, that is who a mentor is, someone who pushes you, a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. Now, if you look back at our lives, we would identify 1 or 2 people who would actually refer to as mentors. Maybe we haven't given it a deep thought before now. I want to tell you a story about someone who I consider to be a mentor a while back when I did residency at the University Teaching Hospital. Now, if you know doctors, or if you have siblings, or if you are a doctor yourself, you know that to specialize in a particular field, you need to go through the residency training program. And anyone will tell you how hectic and sometimes terrible and very demanding that program can be. And if you do not have someone who you can actually look up to, who can actually lead you, it has been known that some people have been known to actually fail out of that program or actually drop off because they couldn't take the pressure anymore. So in the course of doing residency, I met a wonderful young senior registrar lady called Dr. Kali. Dr. Kali was amazing in every sense of the way. Dr. Kali was juggling a full family, a husband and 3 children, as well as her career without breaking a sweat. A lot of us more junior doctors were always wondering, how does she do it? How does she do it that she doesn't drop the ball at any point? And she was in a unit that was very stressful and highly demanding. And so I decided to become friends with Dr. Kali, just so that I could glean from her knowledge and her wisdom, and it would be easier for me. And so I walked up to her and engaged her in conversation and told her, look, I'm struggling in this area. I'm newly married, just had a baby, and there's so much to do in terms of academics and in terms of the clinical work, and I really do need help. And because she was a very unassuming and amiable person, she sat me down. And for the first time in my life, she told me what a Gantt chart was. I had never heard what a Gantt chart was before that day.
Yes, I did.
Kindly mute if you aren't speaking. Forgive me for the interruptions, dear Toastmasters and guests. If you're not speaking, kindly mute. Thank you very much. So as I was saying, she showed me what a Gantt chart looked like. She showed me how to use the Gantt chart. She showed me step by step how to track my progress with the Gantt chart. And I began to do this. Now, she didn't just do that and leave me at it. She also showed me other ways of surviving in the midst of it all. So she'll set tasks for me, she'll give me targets, and it was a smooth ride because I went with her. So I'd like to ask, does anyone on this call know what it feels like to have a mentor? Have you had a good experience with your mentor? Does anyone want to answer? I'm looking at the participant list, and if anyone raises their hand, I will be able to see the person. Anyone? Any takers? Okay. Toastmaster Joy? Okay, Toastmaster Afoke. Let's take Toastmaster Afoke. Toastmaster Afoke, have you had a mentor before, and was the person a good or a bad mentor? Can you tell us, please?
Thank you very much. I've had a very beautiful experience with a mentor who didn't only take interest in my growth, but I was also amazed at the extent of follow-up, at the extent of humility, and the fact that this individual could bring herself so, permit me to use the word, lowly place, as it were, to interact and mingle and at least pass the message of inspiration. And if you would permit me to mention, my mentor's name is Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Foke. Thank you. Sorry, I have to cut you short now because we're truly running out of time. But one thing you said that I really loved was the person was able to show you the way. He took you by the hands and he showed you the way. And I really appreciate that's a good example of who a good mentor is. Other people have had bad examples of mentors and we do not even want to go into that. Well, then there are three other key things, back to my story now, that Dr. Kali taught me. She taught me how to make decisions. So she wouldn't make the decision for me. She would give me the options and say, look, this is this pathway. If you take this pathway, this will be the outcome. If you take this other pathway, this will be the outcome. And then she lets me choose. So that was one other thing I learned from her. Another thing I learned from her, or I got from her, was valuable advice. She'd always say, look, I've done this before. This was a mistake I made. Yeah, been there, done that, I've got a souvenir to show for it. So I think this may not be the right path. And that's another thing she taught me how to do. And then the third thing she taught me how to do was to improve my communication skills. She felt I danced about a little bit too much when I was asking the question. So she taught me how to be direct. Look, if you're looking for something, you want an answer in this area, then you just go straight and ask the question the way it is and get the answers you want. And that's another thing that's another thing Dr. Kali, I beg your pardon, taught me. So I learned these things from her. And now, many years later, seeing myself as a mentor, I have learned to incorporate these things I learned from Toastmaster Kali into the people I mentor, into my prodigies. And I believe I'm doing a good job, even though I know there's room for improvement. And essentially, this is what mentorship is. It's a recipe for growth. Now we're in Toastmasters Club. We have mentorship programs, we have coaching programs. We have mentorship and coaching programs. If you're a new Toastmaster, I would encourage you to actually join the club properly, be a registered member, and get onto our mentorship platform where you will be mentored to become the better leader or better communicator you want to be. Everyone has the ability to grow. There is a giant within you. All you have to do is unleash it. Thank you very much. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
I'm guessing that at this point you hand over to yourself
there because it's back to me.
After you've taken a cup of water.
And I have none around me. Yeah. Thank you very much, Toastmasters and guests, for listening to that. And thank you to all my interrupters. Thank you very much. And I'll leave the evaluation to the evaluator. So on to the next bit of our meeting tonight would be me now handing over to our general evaluator, who will go ahead and call on the various role players to give their reports. And then at the end of the day, she will give a general overview of how she saw the meeting today. So I'm going to introduce our general evaluator for the day. Like I mentioned before, she's not, I don't think this is her first time in this meeting, but this is her first time officially doing any role in this meeting. Toastmaster Morenike Adeyeye is the operations manager of Business Schools Netherlands, Nigeria, with 18 years hands-on experience in education, management, covering sales and marketing of services, operations, and customer service. She holds a first degree in accountancy and an MBA from Business School Netherlands. A highly resourceful, innovative, and enthusiastic individual. Morenike is the president at BSN Toastmasters Club. She's a coordinator of OLAS Alumni 89-94 set. She's a fitness enthusiast, and that's the way I even met her. She's a 4-time marathoner. You don't see that all the time. She's a 4-time marathoner, and her favorite quote is live, love, and laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, with a Pecten Toastmasters round of applause, let us make welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster More, as she takes over the meeting from here. Over to you, Toastmaster More.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Thank you for that warm and welcoming introduction. Thank you. I'll be introducing my team who will be giving their report. So firstly, I'll call on the timer, Toastmaster Peace. Can you quickly give us a review of the time for today's meeting, how we are fed for today's meeting? Over to you, Toastmaster Peace.
Thank you very much. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
I can't see it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Please, would you want to have time to do this? Okay.
Can you see?
Yes,
Yes, we can see now.
Okay, so for table topics, we had five speakers: Toastmaster TMS, Toastmaster SA, Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Gladys, Toastmaster Ngozi, and Toastmaster Tony. Everyone except Toastmaster Ngozi spoke within the time frame. So Toastmaster Ngozi's speech is going to be disqualified because it was above our time range. Then for the manual speeches, we had two speakers, Toastmaster Joy and Toastmaster Tari. Joy spoke for 6 minutes as seen on the screen, and Toastmaster Tari spoke for 8 minutes and 12 seconds. Toastmaster Tari's speech was above the time frame, but I don't know if this particular speech type enables more time. I'll find out and get back to you. So this is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the piece. From the agenda, I believe Toastmaster Tari has 12 to 15 minutes. Probably still within time for that session. So I'd like to call on Toastmaster Kane. I hope I pronounced that properly. She's the anchor for today's meeting. I'd like you to give us your reports.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster More. And I listened avidly to all the speakers. And I'd like to say that I'll start from the person with the highest number of R's. Toastmaster Toy, I would say, had about 5 post pillars, and that's understandable because this is her first time. TM Uche also had a number of post pillars. He had a total of 4 post pillars. For the other speakers, Joy, Ngozi, and Gladys each had 1 of the post pillars. And for the other speakers, it was just fine. I didn't notice any ads. Now, I'll go to the who said what. Just a minute, please. So I'll go to the who said what segment. I trust I can go ahead with that, General Evaluator.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'll just like to say, yes, so someone said an insane avidity for life. So I'd like to ask everyone here who would actually tell us who said an insane avidity for life.
Toastmaster Essay.
Great. You actually listened avidly. So that was TM Essay. And the next is, you don't have to wear a cape. Very easy.
TM Joy.
You don't have to wear a cape. Yes, TM Joy. And last but not the least, we are indeed called to open up ourselves to the world.
TM Gladys.
Toastmaster Tony.
No.
Toastmaster Gladys?
No, it was actually Toastmaster Ngozi.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you to all the contributors, and thank you for listening avidly.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kane. And now I'd like to call on Toastmaster Afoke, who is the grammarian for today's session.
Okay, thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Please, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay, so really pleasant to see that a good number of persons on this call who spoke at one point or the other used the word of the day with so much avidity. Toastmaster Essay, Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Gladys, Toastmaster Folu, Toastmaster Uche, Toastmaster Tari, and a couple of others. Thank you so much for incorporating that word in your speeches. And the second part of my job is to just pick a few comments that I'd like to make a few corrections on. I think the first one I have here, someone said, you don't have to have 6 packs. I think it should be, you don't need to have 6 packs. Another construction that was used, someone said, seeing from what they are doing, I could try. I think that should have been, looking at all that's happening, I could try. So that's the bit from me. Thank you. It's back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, our grammarian for today. Quickly, we'll move on to our speech, our prepared speeches. I would like to call on now I think now I would need help here now.
Yeah, I think
Toastmaster Uche, I know Toastmaster Uche evaluated one of the speeches, and then the second person I will need help with who is evaluating Toastmaster Tari. It's a lady, yes, she was in the car. Yes, I think I could.
Can we take the table topics evaluation first, Madam GE, before the prepared speeches, because that came first.
Okay, but we are looking at time now.
Yeah.
You're running low on time. Okay, let's quickly take this first two. Let's take Toastmaster Uche and Toastmaster, the lady will follow, and then we'll quickly take the table topic session. So I would advise that we use a minute or maybe 40 seconds, please. Thank you.
Okay, did I hear you clearly? 40 minutes for the manual speech evaluation? 40 seconds. 40 seconds.
Yes.
All right, so what do I say? 40 seconds for the evaluation. I'll just say, Toastmaster Joy, you did a great job. Usually in Toastmaster storytelling, there are 5 things we look out for. We look out if you sit up properly, if you give us an inciting incident, if you then give us a progressive complication, if there's an insight you give to us, and if you can give us a climax and a lesson. And I think you did all of these things very, very well. You piqued our interest by taking us down memory lane to 2019 in August, and all of us sat back, relaxed, and we wanted to listen to you. Very quickly, you gave us an inciting incident, how a car hit you, and you were able to finally tell us how, how somehow you went into the air, even if you're not the one that you didn't see it, you were just black, or you blacked out. And you quickly went over to a progressive complication. We thought that incident was like, okay, 2009. Yes, 2009. That incident, sorry, was a very, we thought that was all of it. That was the climax. But then you took us to a complication there. And that complication really was when you came back, and that was the beginning of your woes. You were in a wheelchair, you had depression and all of that. You then gave us insight into the epiphany that you had, and the lesson that no situation is too hard to come out from. I think you put it together in the anatomy of storytelling for Toastmasters. What I think really that you could have done just a bit better would be not to reintroduce yourself after being introduced. I spent a lot of time reading, saying all the beautiful things about you, and then you came back again and say your name is Toastmaster Joy. I was like, all right. So I think that when you're introduced, you just take that and just take the lecture and just go straight into it. I also thought that while you were describing the inciting incident from the third person, you could have been a bit more descriptive. In the third person, you could take the person's voice, change your voice a little bit and say and speak like you're somebody else, and it would be more graphic in our memories when you talk about it. I like your frame. I like the way your vocal variety, your lighting was good, and indeed we could see that little cape on your head. With you're a superwoman today. Thank you for making us enjoy this wonderful speech, and I'm sure that a lot of us were wowed. For want of time, I have done an abridged version, and I will give you the full version when after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uche. Now on to my very wonderful Toastmaster, who will be evaluating for. Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I'm delighted once again to give Tari's evaluation. That was a very nice speech, TM Tari. Nice speech, lovely story. I was engaged throughout. It would be nice for us all to have such a mentor. I liked how you maintained your cool when you were interrupted. You seemed unfuzzled and you were able to steer us back to the story. That was amazing, and you completely met the requirement of the speech. However, I felt that it would have been nice to have more interruptions, at least 4 people interrupting, and I tried to encourage people on the chat group to interrupt the speech, but they were more interested in listening to your story. And like the timer had already mentioned, eventually, you didn't make use of, you had more time that you could have used because your speech was supposed to be 12 to 15 minutes. I think the timer distracted us from that. She could have checked that. To stretch yourself better, it would be good for you to practice managing a difficult audience outside Toastmasters. Overall, this was a great speech. You met the requirement for the project. Kudos to you, TM Tari. It was a joy listening to your speech and evaluating you. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, thank you.
Toastmaster Chuku, thank you very much. So I'll be calling on the table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Folu. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Morenike. When I first saw your name, I thought it was more, and I really liked it, but it's all good. All right, so I'll just go right on with the Toastmaster table topics evaluations. I beg your pardon. So let me mention some of the common threads I observed across all speeches. I really liked the fact that they understood the assignment and they all delivered. The table topics master had said, describe and then inspire us. And I think they all did that really well. I liked the metaphorical spin they gave to all their descriptions and all their speeches, and the linkages, how they were able to link the lion to communication, Superman to being a solution provider, and so on. That was really good. There's something about that is often said, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. And I think that played out quite well in the table topics session. So thanks, Toastmaster Uche, for putting that really well together. I also noticed one of the common threads, as I was saying, was also the use of the word of the day. I can say that every speaker actually used the word of the day and it was properly used. They inspired us, like I said, and they all gave us a message and a call to action. A lot of you know my ability for literary devices and grammar. So I also picked up quite a few things. I can almost say that Toastmaster Ngozi is the queen of tricolor. There were quite a few things she said 3 times, like our hope, our dream, our aspiration, and so many others. She was quite generous with the use of that. I really liked the stories that they tied to the various topics, even though it was just a picture, but they were able to paint a really, really nice story. The use of the word forlorn by Toastmaster Joy was really good. I picked that up. And I just want to commend all of them. I think one thing I would have liked to feature a bit, that was the first speaker. The picture she had there had both the lion and the lamb, but maybe the lamb was too gentle, I don't know. For some reason, nothing was said about the meek and lowly lamb. I thought that was a powerful picture because it would have been a really good oxymoron, having that lion and then the lion and the lamb. There's something to be said there. So this is the abridged version. I cannot say too much more because of time. Back to you, Toastmaster Morenike.
Thank you very much, table topic Master Polu. And now for my own general evaluation for today's meeting. I came into the meeting with all avidity. I mean, I'm coming all the way from Lagos to Port Harcourt. It's supposed to be a spiffing meeting and I have not been disappointed. So I must say big kudos to the leadership at Pecten Toastmasters Club, to all the executives and all the members that took time to attend today's meeting. Thank you for your time. On behalf of the club, I'm saying thank you to you now. The meeting room was open in good time. I think about 3:55 p.m. that I joined, the room was open. What would I have loved? Would have been a welcome banner welcoming, guests to the meeting, or a banner stating what is going on. Let's even assume that I just stumbled on this meeting room. And then of course, with the banner saying, this is Pecten Toastmasters Club, and this is our Toastmasters meeting for the day. I would have loved that. So if we can do that and inculcate that. And then of course, a little bit of music to accompany us while we were waiting for the meeting to start. That will have kept us company, a little bit of jolly. You can hire me for the DJ services. I'm always available, for that. I love another thing that I love is that I love that Pecten has their own mission. And they made it more personal, as in we have Toastmasters pledge, but you also you personalized it. Now you have a pledge for Pecten. I love that. Well, I was also expecting the Toastmasters promise. Every Toastmasters meeting should have that. So I was also expecting, I was looking forward to that. I love the president's speech, Awaken the Giant in You, his illustration. I soak in all the words he shared with us. The table topics were inspiring, totally, each one of them. And of course, the speakers gave their best and inspired us totally. I would have loved to connect more with all the speakers. I know that many of us are in trances, we're busy, but while we are speaking, I would have loved that we put on our cameras so that we can connect to the general audience at large. And then, of course, our time seems to be, a critical factor that we all need to be aware of. And when people give you the gift of their time, we need to use it wisely. And I would have loved the timer to have probably timed other role players, except for the speeches. Apart from the speeches, other role players, introduction. Sometimes we have people talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, like I'm doing now. So if you have timed me and I know that I'm supposed to speak for 2 minutes, I'm already seeing the green card, you need to round up and hand over to the next person. But all in all, it's been a wonderful session and I look forward to having another invite to come back to Pecten Toastmasters Club. So I hand over back the control, back to the Toastmaster of the day, the delectable lady, Dr. Tari Adebisi.
All the titles in the world. Thank you very much, Toastmaster More. Can we please unmute and please put our hands together? I think we can do that now. Like 10 seconds. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Indeed, you brought the extra spice we needed for this suya tonight. It has a different flavor and we are happy that we actually had you in the house. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for your rich contributions, which we will take and make sure our meetings are improved going forward. I'm going to hand over this segment to our president to say some words, welcome our first timers, and then officially close the meeting since we are now officially at 5:44. I think we've done quite well with time, but over to you, Toastmaster Uche. Let me not overtalk. Over to you, Toastmaster Uche.
All right, thank you so much, Toastmaster Tari. Please, can we just unmute and put our hands together for such a beautiful facilitation of this session of this meeting by Toastmaster Tari, and also for everyone who has contributed, especially Toastmaster Muranike. At the time you called me, Toastmaster Tari, I was typing that you were about to awaken the giant in us to go get suya by just mentioning the spice that Toastmaster Muranike has brought to the meeting and bringing suya into us. Let us eat the forgotten lamb. Essay. Yeah, indeed. We've now, Toastmaster Fulu, we have now tied the lamb from that picture into our meeting. So we're going to go back and get some suya at the end of today's meeting. Thank you. I'm sure you would agree with me that today has been a wonderful meeting. There has been so much to learn. It has been an inspiring meeting. We've learned so much from a lot of people who have spoken, and I particularly like the quality that we have seen in today's meeting. I think that in every part of the meeting, there was good quality, even the table topics, which sometimes we seem to drop the ball a little bit when we have different speakers, maybe who are inexperienced, but people spoke today for the first time in our meeting, and it was fantastic. There was something to take away from all of those speeches. Thank you everyone for participating and enjoying today's meeting. I would like at this point to welcome anyone who is joining the meeting today for the first time, and all you need to do is just maybe raise your hand. You just use one of the icons there to raise your hand. If you raise your hand, we know that today is the first time, and we just like